Although the NBA playoffs this year have been under much different circumstances than previous years, that doesn't mean that we haven't had our fair share of exciting moments. These playoffs have been just as great as any other year. This is Real Talk NBA, and today we're going to talk about some of the things we as NBA fans have learned from this year's playoffs in the bubble. Before we get this video started, just want to say, as usual, if you like this kind of content, consider subscribing. It means a lot to me. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. If you have any feedback, drop it in the comments, and let's get right into it. The first thing that we've learned from the NBA bubble is more of a vague thing, and it's simply that some teams need to make changes now. I've already made videos on the Jazz and Bucks, so I won't go too in depth, but there are many other teams like the Philadelphia 76ers that are showing pretty clearly that they need something new. Whether it's to do a full restart or go all out for next season, we've now seen which teams need to make changes for the 2021 NBA season. The second thing that we've learned from the playoffs is that the Denver Nuggets are great, but can hold themselves back. For many years now, the Nuggets have been one of the best young teams in the NBA, led by superstar Serbian center Nikola Jokic, with young players like Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Bol Bol. The Nuggets have been rapidly improving, and at their best are fun to watch and one of the best teams in the league. Going from missing the playoffs by one game in 2018 to the second seed in 2019 and the third in 2020. They've proven now for multiple seasons that they're not to be messed with, but it seems like sometimes in the playoffs they just freeze up and let the other team go on big runs. They let the Jazz take a 3-1 lead in the first round this year, and they should have beat them pretty easily, and had the lead for most of Game 3 against the Clippers, before only scoring 19 in the fourth quarter and losing the game because of it. We saw some of the same stuff last year against the Blazers, especially in Game 7. The Nuggets can start off a game playing amazing basketball, but by the fourth quarter their offense can have less motion than a 7th grade basketball team and they blow a lead. Some of this can most definitely be attributed to age and lack of experience, but considering I personally saw it more clearly this year when they're older and have more experience, I think there are deeper problems that they'll need to fix if they want to ever win a championship. I do think the combination of fixing some of their flaws, as well as the emergence of Bol Bol and MPJ, they could become a lethal team going into the future. But as long as they keep freezing up in key moments like they've shown so far, I don't think they'll be more than a regular season team. And it's hard for me to say that because the Nuggets are my favorite team. The third big thing we've learned this year is that Jimmy Butler is a winner when he's in a winning culture. I've already talked about this briefly in previous videos, but in his post-Chicago days, Jimmy Butler couldn't really show how much of a winner he was. The culture in Minnesota was not a winning culture and not at all a culture of hard work, and that conflicted with Butler's values and led to conflict between the players. Butler was able to take the team to the playoffs, and since he left, they haven't made it close. As much as I like and respect Cat, he doesn't seem like a team leader and winning player to me. Jimmy Butler skill-wise is not any better than Towns, but his impact is so much greater, and that's clear. In Philly, the culture was very random and almost confused. It's clear that the Sixers were not following the process anymore, despite what you want to think. Elton Brand as a GM has given up way too many young assets for bigger named players, including Butler, to call what the Sixers are doing still the process. While the culture wasn't as bad as Minnesota, I still think Jimmy wasn't able to reach his full potential as a leader. We saw him in some very clutch moments, but other than that, he couldn't really prove how much of a winner he is. Now, in Miami, you have a winner in the coaching with Spoelstra, and Pat Riley as the team president. There's a winning culture on and off the court, and that's where Butler flourishes. Not necessarily statistically, but as a leader and as a winner. We've seen him take this Miami squad to the conference finals. I don't know if they would have made it past the first round without him. He really has solidified himself as a great leader and proven all the doubters wrong this season. The fourth and final thing we learned from this playoffs is that the future is bright. In this playoffs we saw amazing performances so far from Jamal Murray, MPJ, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Bam Adebayo, and many more. As much as it's hard for me to accept, the guys like Kevin Durant, Westbrook, Harden, and Steph Curry are all in their 30s now, and only have a few more good years left to play. It's up to the younger players to keep the NBA exciting in the future, and so far, the future's looking bright. We saw 21-year-old Luka Doncic put up 42, 9, and 7 in his first playoff game ever. We saw 23-year-old Bam Adebayo able to outperform Giannis in the second round. We're seeing Jason Tatum play like a seasoned veteran when he's only 22. We saw Mitchell and Murray both drop 50 twice in a series at 24 and 23 respectively, which had only been done previously by Jordan and Iverson, some of the greatest scorers the game has ever seen. Seeing these young players being able to compete with the players we've seen as stars for many years is reassuring, because if we weren't seeing any new players coming to take the face of the league, in 5 years when LeBron is 40 and other players drafted in 2010 or earlier are at least out of their primes, we're going to need new players to take the reins of the NBA. And these playoffs in particular have shown us some of the players who will be willing to do that. That's all for this video, guys. Again, I'm Real Talk NBA. If you like this video, please do consider subscribing. It really does mean a lot. Leave a like, dislike, drop a comment with any feedback, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.